What's up, everybody? This is Vidro coming at you with another video. And in this video is going to be about what I think um, the match at a sacrifice should be involving RVD and AJ Styles if they, in fact, decide to go that route and have RVD face AJ Styles. Now, as you probably know by now, RVD is the world champ now, and he won it last night in on Impact. Was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. You know, I smoke weed, so I just be forgetting shit. But yeah, it was last night, and basically, in my opinion, I think in order for people to care about this match, and in order to you know, sell the pay per view, I think you got to make this a ladder match. I think you know if you don't count Lockdown, I don't really count it because it's a gimmick pay per view. But other than Lockdown, the world title hasn't been put up against in any gimmick match. And I think in order to make, in order to make it interesting, um, I would make this a ladder match. I just think that it would be. We can agree it would be a dream match for the world title. Um, we get to see AJ and RVD do a lot of high flying stuff, and I think that if they make this, I mean, there aren't any rumors or anything. This is just basically me personally what I would like to see. Um, if they make this a ladder match, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this that match would be match of the year because you have RVD and AJ Styles in the prime. Well, AJ Styles in the prime of his career. RVD, he could still go. He's with the best of them. Still one of the best in the world. Not necessarily his prime, but still the best in the world. And if you have them have a ladder match for the world title, I just think that that could just sell that pay per view. And like I said in my last video, I mean, you should make TNA should be have the mindset that every pay per view matters. Because if you're gonna call yourself competing with WWE, you're not gonna the ratings. I mean, to a certain point, ratings are important, but those buy rates are important. You got to get those buy rates up. And like back in 2005, 2006, something like that, when they had just like seemed like months and months of great pay-per-views, and it's like every time you saw a great pay-per-view, it made you want to buy the next pay-per-view, and you just kept building on that momentum going into your big pay-per-views. And I think that's the attitude TNA has to take. I mean, TNA can't be like WWE. WWE, you know, they draw like, you know, like, they draw too many people to the point where they draw up enough people where they feel like they can have throwaway pay-per-views, and they don't feel threatened by TNA. So they don't feel like they need to put the best pay-per-view out necessarily. They're only going to focus on, their main pay-per-views like WrestleMania, Survivor Series, what have you. But TNA can't go that road. TNA has to really just step it up, and they took a good step with Lockdown. And even though they're building towards Lockdown, Lockdown was a good pay per view, but they got to treat these other pay per views like they matter. And I think that's going to help carry them. That's going to help keep them. That's going to keep them from going out of business. Um, and it's like when you watch a good pay per view, at least for me, it makes me want to see your show. Like Lockdown. I saw when I watched Lockdown, I was like, you know what, I gotta tune in to Impact to see what's gonna happen. I mean, it made pay per views. It's like a cycle. Impacts your Monday night show or whatever. That's gonna sell your pay per view. How you doing the pay per view is gonna determine whether or not you're gonna watch um, the television show to see the fallout, and then that's when you start building towards your next pay per view. In this case, Sacrifice. Um, you know, Sacrifice has some potential. I mean, Sacrifice has potential to be a very good pay per view. I think. You have RVD and AJ praying for a ladder match, but might not happen. Still, RVD and AJ on pay per views is going to be a good thing. You got Douglas Williams versus Kazarian, most likely for the X Division title. That should be good. Um, Hopefully, you know, I would like to see a tag team have the tag team title. So hopefully they can, book maybe Beer Money, or I would like to see Beer Money beat Matt Morgan and whoever else who's gonna be paired with during that pay per view. I would like to see them go over them. That could be interesting to see. Um, with this new ranking system that Eric Bischoff is teasing, you can have some good undercard matches with this ranking system. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of, who's in the world title. You know, you could have guys like Desmond Wolf and Pope, but probably not Desmond versus Pope because we've kind of seen that. But you get the idea to have those guys on pay per view. This is a perfect chance to finally use talented guys on your pay per view and make your product stand out. But you know, we'll see what happens with that. But like I said, I think I really think that a ladder match with RVD and AJ is the way to go because they had their regular match and I think they're supposed to have a rematch next Monday and you got I think this is the time where you use a gimmick. A lot of people don't like gimmick matches, but they don't use a lot of gimmick matches for the world title. And I think now would be a good time to use a gimmick, and it can mean something. And with two guys the caliber of AJ and RVD, um, you know, they could just. I'm telling you, they could have the match of the year. It could be better than HBK Taker. I mean, I don't know. Depending on what they do, that has the potential to surpass HBK Taker or Mr. Anderson versus Kurt Angle, which was great. But you know, we'll see. We'll see where they go. TNA's finally, you know, I'm not gonna get too excited because every time TNA gets me excited, they take one step forward, two steps back. So they're gonna have to show me something, show me what they're about, and see if they can build on the momentum of Lockdown and the new world champion RVD. But till next time, peace.